Relationship mistake, making things too easy for him. It is quite evident that what is common between a woman that is well loved is that she don't make things too easy for the men in their lives. Now, I'm not saying that they are witches. The beloved lady just shows that she has no fear of losing a man and therefore she usually does not lose him. Have you ever noticed that when you are not interested in a man, showing that you don't really care much if he disappears or not, he then becomes crazy for you? That's how it works. We all want what we can't have. I'm not telling you that you need to play hard to get, although it kind of seems like it is that way. You just can't make yourself available whenever he wants, and you can't be at his beck and call and cancel any of your plans for him. Don't wait for him to call and only show interest in the things that interest him. You are a treasure, and therefore you need to show that you are of high value. You are of high value, aren't you? If you value yourself and demonstrate that through your actions, then the men around you will also see it too. Let's suppose that you and your date make plans to meet somewhere and he is late. You can excuse him the first time this happens. If he is late next time and doesn't call to let you know, wait about 15 minutes. If he makes you wait longer than 15 minutes without a phone call, just simply leave. Don't be there when he gets there. You have other things to do, even if you really don't. No need to argue with him. Just make other plans. Here's another example to follow. If he says he will call you the next day and he only calls you a few days after, not a problem. Don't say anything about it. However, if he wants to meet you the day that he calls you, you cannot go out with him. You have other plans even if you really don't. Don't ask him why he didn't call either. It won't do you any good. Oh, and here is another big one. If he wants to see you but wants it to be at your house, in your bed at whatever time he pleases, forget it. Do not allow this to happen. He needs to value you much more, especially at the start of a relationship. He should be taking you out for dinner. Only later, as time goes on and the relationship progresses, he should be allowed to come over your house or you visit his place. Don't be thinking that if he comes over you can win him over by cooking him some supper. No way. If anything, he should be cooking something for you. Alright, princess, I'm not proclaiming that you should never cook him dinner, but don't make it a habit, and it shouldn't be anything too fancy or he'll think that you are just trying too hard. You don't have to try hard. Actually, let him work to be with you. He needs to sweat to have you. Let him be the one in the attacking position, and you be the defense, and move only according to the moves he makes. Use common sense. Do not let yourself be in a position of someone who is always there waiting, desperate without placing value on yourself, while the man places himself in the position of a king, a hot dude who uses and abuses you. Would you like a man that is always available for you, accepting everything that you do? Wouldn't you get sick of him rather fast? Wouldn't you think that he has no value? In reality, we always like what is difficult. We like what we have to fight to get. It has more value, and everything that we have to work for has a much sweeter victory when we attain it. In contrast, everything that we attain too easily makes us wonder, I don't know if it's worth it or if I really want it. If I was a man, I'd wonder, why does this lady accept everything that I do? Doesn't she have other options out there? Is she desperate? What is her problem that I haven't figured out yet? Am I the only loser interested in her? You might not be desperate, but you might act like it sometimes, because you think that if you play hard to get, he will go for somebody else. Well, that could be true. But, if you play somewhat hard to get and he really wants you, he will persist. If he goes for somebody else, it is because he truly didn't want you and just wanted to play around. Let him go fish in some other pond. We women don't have any time to waste. I want to point out that playing hardball or somewhat hard to get does not mean that you should be harsh, rude, or dry. It means that you won't tolerate being taken for granted. How do you demonstrate this? You don't let him know in words that you won't be taken for granted, you show him with your attitudes and the things that you do or don't do. It's quite simple. Just think of the things you don't like to tolerate. Don't like when people arrive late when making plans? Then don't accept it. You can't stand waiting for a phone call? Then don't wait for it. You might tell yourself that you don't mind waiting, but I doubt that is really true. The point is that you can't let this become a habit of disrespect, or sooner or later he'll make plans with you tonight and show up the week after. Here is an example. If he wants to see you, but he prefers to do so later on after being out with his buddies, what do you do? If you are not living in the same household, he can go out with his friends, but after that he sleeps alone. Tell him you will see him tomorrow. If he tries to convince you to come over later on, tell him it will already be late and you probably have plans with Maria or any other female friend name even if you don't go out. Sure, he can go out with his friends as his own right. What he cannot do is have you on hold. Not at all. You are priority, and believe it, you deserve to be priority. A man actually loves this about a woman. He knows that if he lets things slide with you, things could get ugly. You are not the type to yell and complain like many women do. With you, if he messes up, it can be much worse because you take action or withdraw. Who says men like good girls anyway? They like women with attitude. The good girls are simply there to use and throw to the curb. Again, being a woman with attitude does not mean you have to be aggressive or cold. Not at all. Sweet and gentle, but firm. Nice, but also smart.